warm welcome to State of Business on our television. I'm Hishainali and let's have a look at the headlines first. Government plans to develop Lanka port into a main port in Sri Lanka. JVP leader asked government whether it will launch an inquiry on the Airbus deal. News in detail. Co-Cabinet spokesman Minister Dr. Ramesh Pattarana says the Cabinet nod was given to acquire 50-acre land for the Sri Lanka Ports Authority in order to develop the Lanka port into a main port in Sri Lanka. Minister Pattarana announced this and key other Cabinet decisions that were taken yesterday, addressing the weekly Cabinet press briefing held at the Government Information Department this morning, which was also attended by the Cabinet co-spokesman Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena. Minister Dr. Ramesh Pattarana added that relevant Cabinet proposal on the development of the Lanka port was tabled at the Cabinet meeting by the Roads and Highways, Ports and Shipping Minister Johnston Fernando. 15-acre state-owned land adjoining to the Lanka port will be acquired and another 35-acre private property will be taken for the development of the port after paying a compensation amount. This initiative will ease the transportation of goods across north and south of the country, Minister further added. On the other hand, Minister Pattarana added that the Cabinet approval was given to issue medical certificates through 150 government hospitals for those obtaining driving licenses and renewing light vehicle licenses. Earlier, medical certificates were only issued through the Motor Traffic Department's medical office, creating immense hassle to the general mass. Co-Cabinet spokesman Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena also noted that the Cabinet approved President's proposal to provide employment opportunities in the state sector for about 50,000 unemployed graduates by 1st of March this year. Thus, Minister gave further details on this Cabinet decision. Accordingly, 50,000 unemployed graduates from year 2012 till 31st of January 2019 will be recruited for the government sector. The appointments will be made based on the stream of the degree that the applicant has followed so as to appoint best suitable individuals for vacant positions in state institutes. Minister Gunawardena added that recruited undergraduates have to undergo 1 year special training before being appointed. When the graduates are recruited, they cannot be transferred until they complete 5 years of experience. The President has instructed to keep politics aside and follow a transparent process to recruit all graduates, Minister further added. Minister emphasized that this initiative will provide solutions to the youth unemployment, labor shortage in the country and will help to boost the country's productivity. Recent money laundering case of the Refund deal between Sri Lanka Airlines and Airbus was brought forward by the JVP leader Anurakumara Dissanayake at the Parliament today, and he asked the government how it will take measures on this scandal and whether the government will launch an inquiry on the issues as to whether any politicians or any other heads of the director board are involved in the scandal. In response, Leader of the House Dinesh Gunawardena said that an answer for this question will be given at the Parliament tomorrow.
කෙසේ වුවද මෙම කොන්ත්‍රාත් මතභේදාත්මක බව බොහෝ කාලයක සිට විටින් විට අනාවරණය වී තිබුණද මේ දක්වා සැබෑ වගකීම් නීති හමුවට පැමිණීමට කටයුතු කරිනේ මේ පිළිබඳව.
Even though this contract was found out to be controversial at many times, no proper punishment was taken on behalf of this. Even at the initial stage of this contract, we informed the Parliament that this contract is happening under the radar. We won't know who the chairman of the airlines was during 2012 to 2013, since CEO of the airlines won't go for such a deal without the consent of the chairman. We also want to know who were the directors when this deal took place, because as I informed the Parliament at a previous occasion, the director board pertaining to the signing of this contract met with former Speaker Chamal Rajapaksa's official residence. This is not done. We want to know how the government will take measures on this massive fraud, whether the big shots and other involved individuals will be punished.
The government has directed a refund of withholding tax and pay as you earn deducted from January this year to respective persons. This was announced by the Indian Revenue Department yesterday, issuing a statement. The Ministry of Finance instructed the IRD on January 31st that withholding tax on any payments, including interest and dividends rent, made to any resident person and payee on any employment receipts to any resident or non-resident individual should be removed with effect from January 1st this year. Thus, withholding agents, including employers, are instructed not to deduct any withholding tax or payee on payments to be made on or after January 1st, 2020 for the above-mentioned persons. Any withholding tax or payee already deducted after January 1st, 2020 on above payments should be paid back to the respective persons, such as employees, deposit holders, or any other persons. However, withholding tax on payments made to resident person at 14% on the amounts paid as winning from lottery, reward, betting or gambling at 2.5% WHT on sale of any gem at an auction conducted by the National Gem and Jewellery Authority and payments made to non-resident person under Section 84 and 85 would continue to apply. Stay tuned for more news right after this commercial break. Welcome back after the break. While the whole nation is talking about the forensic audit report of the central bank bond scam, cricketing legend and parliamentarian Arjuna Ranatunga today brought forward some discrepancies in the forensic audit report of Sri Lanka cricket. Addressing the media today at his residence in Colombo, Arjuna Ranatunga also expressed views on the current status of the cricket in Sri Lanka.
No, we are quite concerned about the forensic audit report. We were trying to get this thing out for last so many years, but it came out as a special report. That's a concern we have. I have documents where Additional Auditor General has written to the Sports Ministry asking for forensic audit report, but it has come as a special audit report. We are going to question this in Parliament, and in that report there are a lot of allegations regarding financial allegations, then TV rights issues, and some of the money went to different accounts in different banks. So these are the things we have analyzed. We have been discussing this, but it has come on a special report which can be really important for cleaning cricket in this country. In the meantime, there are a lot of issues happening. The domestic cricket has been manipulated by some of the clubs. Even if you analyze the under-19 tournament, the World Cup has been very unsuccessful as far as the Sri Lankans are concerned. We end up at number 10. When you see Afghanistan and Bangladesh is playing much better cricket than us. So there are a lot of issues happening in cricket. I'm sure that the present minister will directly get involved and try to clean this thing up.
Senior advisor on economic affairs to the Prime Minister Ajit Niwad Cabral yesterday said he would request President Gotabaya Rajapaksa to order an independent and impartial reinvestigation into the bond scam to be conducted by the Criminal Investigations Department. Speaking to the media at the Temple Trees, former Central Bank Governor Cabral argued that the forensic audit was not credible as it was conducted under the supervision of the Monetary Board of the Central Bank. Ajit Niwad Cabral, a former central bank governor, told reporters he had little confidence in the credibility of the forensic audit, the Presidential Commission of Inquiry report, and the Committee on Public Enterprises report, or the COPE report. He highlighted that the former government had engaged in repeated cover-ups of the bond scams, starting with a 3-member committee appointed by former Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, as well as his statements in Parliament. He also pointed out that the dissolution of Parliament before the COPE report would be tabled and added that move cannot be appreciated. Cabral argued that the forensic audit was not credible as it was conducted under the supervision of the Monetary Board of the Central Bank, and the company, KPMG India, who were responsible for the documents, has several allegations against them and could be banned by the Indian government. He also added that according to details in the forensic report, there has been a loss of Rs 10.4 billion because of treasury bills and bonds being issued at lower than base price. Further, he noted that the report also says that in 2,783 instances, issuances were at higher than base prices, and questioned, so why is it that there is no calculation of profits? He argued that if he is to take responsibility for those losses, then surely he should also get the credit for the profits. Ratnapura District UNP MP Hesha Vithanage says that some have unexpectedly frightened with the release of the forensic audit report related to the controversial bond scam at the central bank. Addressing the media in Colombo today, he said that former CBSL Governor Ajit Niwad Cabral's argument, which asks us to consider the profits to the central bank during his tenure, is not a valid point. The press briefing by former State Minister of Finance Eran Wickramaratne, MPs Hesha Vithanage and Chaminda Wijayasiri was held at the opposition leader's office in Colombo this morning. Addressing the media, former State Minister of Finance Eran Wickramaratne spoke over the controversial Airbus deal which paved the way to arrest Sri Lankan Airlines former Chief Executive Officer Kapila Chandrasena and his wife. Commenting over the money laundering in the Airbus deal of Sri Lankan Airlines in 2013, the parliamentarian said that the Attorney General should file cases against the wrongdoers immediately as the taxpayers' money had been wasted in vain. He also asked the government to go for due measures to acquire $98 million which the country lost by that transaction. MP Wickramaratne also added that the authorities must also inquire the other officials like chairman of the Sri Lankan Airlines who were behind the scene. He further asserted that politicians alone do not steal public funds, but they do it with the assistance of the public sector officials. The MP also stresses that if the officials were strong enough, the politicians will not try to play with the public funds. Malaysian theme park developer and operator Sim Leisure Group on Tuesday announced it will bring its theme parks to Sri Lanka under a memorandum of understanding signed with Sri Lanka-listed Alpitia Plantations. Alpitia Plantations is an associate company of Sri Lanka-listed blue-chip conglomerate Aitken Spence Group. Sim Leisure owns and operates Escape Outdoor Adventure and water theme parks in Malaysia. It has also completed projects such as the thematic design of certain zones at Universal Studios Singapore and the fitting out of all facilities at a large indoor water park in Bahrain. According to the initial discussion between the two companies and facilitating agencies of the government, the new Escape theme parks will be located halfway between Colombo city and the main beach resort of Galle, a city on the southwest coast of the country. Under the MOU, Alpitia Plantations intends to sublease a piece of land for the project, while Sim Leisure will develop and operate theme parks under its Escape brand. Sim Leisure aims to start construction in March this year, having received preliminary approval for it. Both parties expect to sign the definitive agreement for the deal later this month, and this will include the entry into a joint venture partnership whereby Sim Leisure and Alpitia Plantations are to become the joint venture partners of Venture Valley, a special purpose company incorporated for the project. Chief Executive Officer of Sim Leisure, Sim Chu Keng, said that Sri Lanka's unpolluted coastline and beaches would bring tourists from all over the world, and its tourism industry is growing at an incredible pace. He also added that the cost of doing business in Sri Lanka is relatively low. Stay tuned for stock updates. Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a mixed note today. The All Share Price Index gained 6.2 points to close at 5,948.27, and the S&P SL20 dropped 1.43 points to close at 2,839.56. The turnover was 570 million rupees and over 35 million shares were traded. Up next are Forex rates. And that's all news for today. Send us your views and comments via email address and our hotline, and log into our Facebook page to be alert on the latest updates. Join us tomorrow with State of Business. Until then, take care. Good night.